I wouldn't have thought it, but just the way things happen, it's just worked out very nicely, because my mother's still there and she's very close now, so she comes to the farm and visits and stays and
you were saying that
it.
she absolutely loves the farm as well.
She loves it because it's, you know, takes her back to her childhood, and it's a very safe environment, and, you know, you can feed chickens all day long and it doesn't really matter, you know.
Yeah.
It's just you can be busy and safe there, so, yeah.
Well, we'll hear some more about how you've adapted to life on the farm. It couldn't get more different, could it, going from a high-flying magazine job? In the meantime, playing Wham! And Last Christmas for Henna on the M4 this afternoon. Thank you very much for your text. 07786 202 303, the number to get in touch if you would like to hear your favourite tune between now and 4. 0845 900 1041 on the phones. Wham! And Last Christmas, especially for Henna on the M4 this afternoon. Coming up to 4:15, Phil Kennedy on the way from 4 o'clock. We'll find out what he's got planned for you very shortly. Also helping to guide you through this snow on your way home. If it's snowing where you are, then let me know about it this afternoon. You can call, text or email. Michael from Christmas Farm in Newbury is my guest for this hour, talking about his transition from being an editor or deputy editor, associate editor in the magazine industry to farmer in West Berkshire. And this is a relatively recent transition as well, since you actually gave up the magazines, isn't it?
Yeah.
How long are we talking?
6 weeks, I think.
It's just, I mean,
Yeah.
okay, so this is a bit of a whirlwind, really,
Yeah.
in many ways.
Yeah.
It helped that you had the farm already, because you were
Yes.
familiar with everything.
Yeah.
And I guess that conditions like this, snow and that kind of thing, it's a bit of a baptism of fire for you, isn't
Well,
it?
we moved in, I think it was January the 19th this year, so it's like a week or two before that hideous snowfall last time, so we've seen it before, so bring it on, we're ready this time.
What's your average day like on the farm? So what sort of time are you getting up? What sort of things are you doing? What time are you getting to bed?
The alarm goes off at 5 o'clock, then I go back to sleep, then it goes off again at 5:30, then I get up. So then it's feeding all the animals, letting them out, saying hello to them all. Then just, you know, doing whatever needs to be done. It can be anything, you know, like chicks hatching or things that you need to go off to market or opening the shop. And then it's funny, it's governed by daylight, really. Then as soon as it starts to get dark, everything has to go to bed. So you put everything to bed again, feed it again, make sure everything's okay. And a lot of time is spent, you know, just watching and making sure the animals are fine and just getting to kind of know them a little bit as well, just to make sure that, you know, their welfare's sort of paramount, really.
And it's such a huge transition, isn't it, from what you were doing before? And you admitted that you almost had to learn about your animals via the internet just to get... because you hadn't got the first idea, really.
No.
Have there been any moments where you've stopped and thought, have we made a bit of a mistake here?
Yeah, loads. Probably the first... I don't know, the biggest thing is we thought, what idiots we've been, was we were walking around the farm and then we thought, right, okay, if we get cows, we can put them in this field, and if we get sheep, we can put them in that field, and then just having a look and thinking, there aren't any fences. So somehow we'd bought a farm with very bad fencing, and it was a very expensive mistake.
Oh, I can imagine, because it costs enough to put a fence up in your back garden.
So we've had to have that all fenced, and that was the thing where you just think, what have we done? You know, idiots, green around the ears. No, I think little things, also, you know, like in the depth of winter when you're mucking something out and you get your covered head to toe in dung, is just not, that's not thrilling, really, and you do sometimes question it, but for every time you question what you've done, there are at least 10 things that make you really glad that you made that transition.
What's the best thing about living on that
Things like
farm?
Sunrise, sunset, you know, just things like animals doing particularly well, just achieving things really every day, and it's kind of a lower level of achievement, but there's much more to achieve throughout the day.
Does it make you question what your life was like before? Does it make you wonder why you didn't do it before?
Yeah, but I do think, you know, a whole lot about life is just going with the flow of things, and certain things are right at certain times in your life, you know, and I think, you know, I loved my life before, and I had, you know, a great time and great friends, and I had, a ball doing it, but I don't regret it.
In terms of the people that you worked with at the magazines, what have they said about the move?
I had an open day. We had a brainstorming down at the barn, so all these quite, you know, successful journalists, very successful journalists, celebrity journalists, came on a coach to a small, you know, little hamlet outside Newbury, and you could see as they got off the bus that what on earth has he done? But by the end of it, they'd all understood it, and, you know, on their face was like there's little pictures of the farm, and this is me with the sheep, and, you know, it's just, you know, had a really good time.
Were they tottering off the coach in their Jimmy Choos?
Yeah,
sort of?
a little bit, yes.
I bet they were.
Some were dressed up for it, flat cap and a Barber jacket. Rav Singh, if you're listening. But yeah, no, it was very funny, but they took to it very well. You know, and then we've had other things like, you know, the whole turkey off thing. I'm not sure if we're going to talk about that, but...
yeah, so what's this that you've got going on?
Well, it is, a friend of ours, Liz, is managing director of a massive agency in London called Albion, and Liz doesn't do the countryside at all. She's not one of these, you know, media people who a bit scared of the dark, and I'm sure doesn't like mud. I don't know. So she came down with pink wellies and all kitted out, and she brought all the gear, and just thought, you know, this is great. I didn't know things like this. Let's get people to know about it, and came up with this idea, Turkey Cam, which is basically a turkey focused camera, and, you know, instead of a Christmas card, the agency are doing turkey off, which you vote to save one of our 2 pet turkeys.
So, and presumably you can see these turkeys on this camera?
Yes, turkeyoff.com. There's one called Brad, he's the boy, clearly, and Beyonce, who's my one, who I hatched from an egg. And, you know, the thing about Albion is they've helped some very successful brands like Skype and Innocent, and they're very innovative, and this was just one of those things where media meets farming, and it works really well, because what it does is it just shows people in London, you know, that a turkey is an animal. It sounds bizarre. It has to eat. It has to go outside. It needs to forage. It
has lived before it reached your dinner table.
Yeah, and it's that thing where, you know, I think that was Liz's genius, and, you know, just the whole technological thing about, we'd have never been able to do it, but, you know, Albion have come in and set up all these cameras, and just, you know, it's great, and we want to keep it. We're going to do lamb cam next, and then probably pig cam. And,
but it is incredibly unique, because it's where the two worlds meet, isn't it? And I suppose you can use your expertise in journalism and within the media as well to capitalise on it even more. Yeah. So honestly, Christmas Farm could be huge, couldn't it?
Who knows?
Worldwide, global animal cameras. Thank you so much for coming in this afternoon and sharing your story with us. It's been brilliant. That's Michael Butcher from Christmas Farm in Newbury on BBC Radio Berkshire. Right, playing this for Rich. This is U2 and Magnificent. Have a word with Phil Kennedy in a minute. Find out what he's got planned for you.